St. George's University announces decision to continue limited access to the campus. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Monday, February 1st, 2021, I am Rikisha St. Louis. The St. George's University says it will continue to limit access to the True Blue-based campus for the time being, out of an abundance of caution for students, faculty, staff, and the people of Grenada. The university announced on Monday that it will continue to provide online distance learning for all students for the April 2021 term. It says while the goal is to eventually return all students to campus as soon and as safely as possible, students in the School of Medicine, School of Veterinary Medicine, and School of Graduate Studies will continue exclusively via online distance learning throughout the spring. Students in the School of Arts and Sciences will continue to have access to minimal in-person classes. In a statement, SGU said the leadership of the institution remains concerned about the current worsening status of the COVID-19 pandemic in many countries around the world and the emergence of new, more infectious variants of the virus. SGU is evaluating the potential for students to return to campus in Grenada in the summer if a vaccination is widely available. Although Grenada has few active COVID-19 cases currently, many members of the SGU community live in or travel through countries where the cases of COVID infection are poorly controlled or where these new variants have led to increased infection rates. SGU will continue to collaborate with the government of Grenada and provide updates on its public health response to combat the spread of the virus. The next decision about returning to campus will be made in May 2021. Continuing the news, renovation has started on the Mount Moritz Medical Station, which was closed in early October due to cracks and other internal structural issues. The Ministry of Health met with residents back then to update them on the findings of a technical survey conducted by the Ministry of Infrastructural Development and to discuss the way forward. While discussions centered around whether the facility should be abandoned and services expanded at Happy Hill to include the residents of Mount Morris, the Ministry of Infrastructural Development considered the facility functional but in need of some repairs. Junior Phillips of JK Construction Limited told GIS his team started work last Monday and will reinforce the foundation of the building, construct new washroom facilities, among other remedial work.
We are in the process now of cutting the floors so we can remedy these problems with the walls, because long ago lots of buildings didn't have any reinforcement in foundations and so on. People use all sorts of stuff they could find, and we are cutting the floor slab now to install some reinforcement compact and install some reinforcement pads under these walls so that we can underpin them to repair them properly. We're upgrading the bathroom on the interior, and we're doing some bathrooms on the outside for patients so that we can meet the COVID protocol, and a general paint up and upgrade for return to service.
The over $20,000 project is expected to be completed in 5 weeks. Phillips said the aim is to have the facility in operation as soon as possible.
It was 4 initially, and then they said they want a ramp for access by wheelchairs and so, and some driver upgrades. So that'll take us a couple of days extra. We open this finish in 4, but our schedule is 5. $27,000, 26 thereabout. Yeah, we're doing this at cost somewhat because we're from the village and we do a lot of community work in here, and we accepted the job at that price to ensure that our village can have our medical services back here in the shortest space of time.
Since the closure of the facility, residents of Mount Morris and surrounding areas have since been using the medical station in Happy Hill. The Ministry of Information and, by extension, the Government of Grenada acknowledges the passing of long-standing Grenada Broadcasting Network employee Mr. Levi Benoit. Government, as a shareholder in GBN, has extended heartfelt condolences to Mr. Benoit's family and colleagues. Mr. Benoit worked as a cameraman at GBN for more than 30 years. The Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union is also mourning the loss of Mr. Benoit, who was a shop steward and general council delegate who represented workers at the GBN. TAU issued a statement saying, and I quote, "Today our union mourns the loss of a comrade, husband, father, brother, and friend," unquote. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
The National Celebrations Committee invites all Grenadians, home and abroad, to tune in to the broadcast of the virtual staging of our 47th anniversary of Independence Cultural Extravaganza on Saturday, February 6th, and Military Parade on Sunday, February 7th. Live from the National Cricket Stadium on GIS Channel 22, National Celebrations Committee, and GIS Facebook pages and YouTube channels. The Cultural Extravaganza begins at 6 p.m. and will showcase the best of Grenada from all parishes under the theme Brighter Out of Darkness. Then on Sunday we return to the National Stadium at 9:30 a.m. for a special Made in Grenada feature and military parade. Happy 47th Grenada, rebuilding together a safer, more resilient nation in these challenging times.
Welcome back. Individuals from 13 schools island-wide are being trained as part of the session's themed capacity building in primary and secondary schools and Parents Teachers Association to reduce risk of chronic diseases among school-aged students. The sessions were conceptualized by the Grenada Chronic Disease Commission and the Ministry of Education in recognition of the urgent need to educate cooks, teachers, and parents about food portion sizes, nutritional content of food, recipes, and components of a balanced meal.
In an effort to combat that problem, trying to educate cooks at various schools as well as parents so it can be brought into homes, ways in which they can continue to provide nutritious meals to our students, healthy meals that will prevent them from becoming obese. So our lifestyle has changed over the years, and so has our access to certain foods that are high in salt and oils and sugar. And our children have ready access to a lot of these things and consume it in large quantities in some cases. So the commission, the Non-Communicable Disease Commission, that's one of the things that we're trying to focus on. How can we provide the support to schools and to a nation so that we can combat some of these diseases?
That was Marlene Neptune, head of the school feeding department at the Ministry of Education. The training is being sponsored by the European Development Fund and facilitated by the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council.
We've had 2 training sessions so far. The first one went at the Crochet RC School for Crochet and Current Government School. The training is done on a district level as far as possible. So that was covering District 4 and District 1, which is Carriacou and Petit Martini. Their training was done on the 28th last week. And those schools were Hillsborough Secondary and Mount Pleasant Government.
Training will continue in District 2 at the Hermitage Government School, Shantimel RC School, District 3 at the St. Mary's RC School and St. Joseph's Convent, Grenville, at District 5, St. George's Methodist, Salvation Army, and District 6 at the St. John's Anglican and the St. John's Roman Catholic School. Finally in the news, the tail end of a frontal system located north of the Leeward Islands raised concern over the weekend after it produced strong winds and rough seas, particularly in the St. George's area. Forecaster at the Meteorological Office, Tricia Miller, says this development should not cause panic to the general public, as it will subside within the next few days.
Over the past few days, the tail end of a frontal system located just north of the Leeward Islands, coupled with strong winds, caused seas to deteriorate. This is normal as fronts tend to come a bit further south at this time of year. Model guidance indicates that the front will weaken and move away within the next day or so. However, the strong winds will linger but seas should improve by midweek. There's a warning in effect for beachgoers, persons traveling along the coast, and other marine users to be extra cautious.
That story just ended the national report for today, Monday, February 1st, recapping the top story. St. George's University announces decision to continue limited access to the campus. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.